Deuteronomy, symbol 3, 369, chapter 32, verse 52. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel. Verse 45. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. Verse 46. And he said unto them, Set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do, all the words of this law. Verse 47. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land, whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. Verse 36. For the Lord shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is not shut up or left. Verse 37. And he shall say, Where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted? Verse 38. Which did eat the fat of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their drink offerings. Let them rise up and help you, and be your protection. Verse 27. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, Our hand is high, and the Lord hath not done all this. Verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Verse 29. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. Verse 18. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. Verse 19. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred him, because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. Verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them, I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Verse 10. He found him in a desert land, and in a waste howling wilderness 40 years. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. Verse 11. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, flutteth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh him, beareth him on her wings. Verse 51. Because ye trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctify me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Verse 42. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Verse 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. Verse 44. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. Verse 33. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps. Verse 34. Is not this laid up in store with me, and sealed up among my treasures? Verse 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. Verse 24. They shall be burned with hunger and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. Verse 25, the sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, and the suckling also with the men of grey hairs. Verse 26, I said, I would scatter them into corners, I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Verse 15, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Verse 16, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abomination provoked they him to anger. Verse 17, they sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Verse 6, do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people, and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Verse 7, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. Verse 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Verse 39, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Verse 40, for I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. Verse 41, if I with my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me. Verse 30, how should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? Verse 31, for their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. Verse 32, for their vine is the vine of Sodom, and the fields of Gomorrah, their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Verse 21, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God, they have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Verse 22, for a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn into the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Verse 23, I will heap mischiefs upon them, and I will spend mine arrows upon them. Verse 12, so the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. Verse 13, he made him ride on the high place of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock. Verse 14, butter of kine and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat, and thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. Verse 1. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Verse 2. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Verse 3. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. Verse 4. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment. A God of truth, and without iniquity, just and right is he. Verse 5. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation.